Oh my, oh my, oh my. All right, all right. All right, all right. All right.
How can I let him down?
All right,
How
all
can I
right.
let him down? How can I let him down? How can I let him down?
All right. All right. Genesis chapter 22. Right. Genesis chapter 22. All right.
How can I let him down? 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 How can I let him down?
All right. All right. Genesis chapter 22. Genesis chapter 22.
How can I let him down? 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 Let him down? Oh.
All right. All right. Genesis chapter 22. Ooh. See how progressive folk done shifted. Now the holiness folk showed up. Amen. All right. All right. All right. Genesis chapter 22.
Pick me up, turn me around, place my feet on higher ground. How can I let him down?
All right. All right. Genesis chapter 22. All right. Genesis chapter 22. Get your Bible. Genesis chapter 22. It says, now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham. Genesis 22:1. Now it came to pass that after these things, God, what? Tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, here I am. Then he said, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. Look at this again. He says, go to the land of Moriah and offer him as a burnt sacrifice on one of the mountains. He says, I will show you. Right? So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took two of his young men with him and Isaac his son. And he split the wood for the burnt offering and arose, went to the place which God had told him. Then on the third day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place afar off. The third day. You see that, right? And Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder to worship. And we will come back to you. Faith talk. Watch this. So Abraham took what? The wood, of the burnt offerings, and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand. See that? And a knife. Y'all see that, right? And the two of them went together. The fire with the wood. And he took the knife. But Isaac spoke to Abraham, his father, and said, my father. And he said, here am I, my son. Then he said, look, the fire and the wood. But where's the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham said, my son, God will provide for himself a lamb for the burnt offering. So the two of them went together. Then they came to the place of which God had told him, and Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac, his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said, here am I. And he said, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. It's a good word right there. It's also a very familiar story. Very briefly this morning, for the time that shall be mine, I want to preach for about maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. The Lord allows on the subject. Identity is set. Conditions are not. I want to preach this morning from the subject. Identity is set. Conditions are not. Identity is set. Conditions are not. We find that many times that we sometimes feel as though we have to try to serve a God that really we have to use tricks and schemes and rabbit's foots, and we have to try to use cliches and things that are catchy to really get God's attention. And many times, Tiffany, we don't really understand who we really are in Christ. And sometimes in the mirror, when those things happen to us, we lose our identity. But the truth of the matter, Anita, is that God has set our identity a long time ago. And sometimes, Kenneth Butler, when God sets our identity a long time ago, sometimes we lose track on who we really are because we are more focused on who we're trying to be. And Kadane, sometimes we focus on who we are trying to be with the people who are trying to define who we think we need to be because they want us to be who they want us to be. But Bishop Dorsey, sometimes you got to really understand that God has set my identity a long time ago. And Chandrika, I can't worry about what people are trying to make me become because truthfully, I have to become Sam, what God told me to be. And sometimes, Chris, we can have friends and people who will sometimes, Vicky, talk us out of what God is trying to make us. And Chiquetta, you got to realize that sometimes people got the gift of gab and people got a good game, and sometimes other people's games are a little bit stronger than your game. And sometimes I wish we find people in our life whose game is stronger than us because we're attracted to that mess. Because it sounds fun and flashy. My God. But Alyssa, you got to watch out. And you got to watch the people that we hang around, the people, Charlene, that we sometimes tend to pull close to us because a lot of times, sometimes you can tell what you're going to become by the people you hang around. Sometimes you have to watch who has Remus, who has the most influence in your life. And Nikki, you got to understand, Nikki, that sometimes it's okay to allow, Donnie, wrong people to leave. And sometimes we get hooked up with other people who are in the foolishness of trying to impress God. But God ain't impressed by you trying to impress him. Why? Because God is not trying to delight you. He's trying to develop you. See, and many times we live in this, God give me, God give me, God give me, and we want God to always give us stuff and give us stuff. And Lord, if you do this, then I will, God. And if you, then I'll pray. And God, if you, but God, he ain't here to delight you. He's here to develop you. Woo. My God, and what God is saying, sometimes I got to put you in tough places in order to develop you. Why? Because you don't grow in happy places. Tell the truth and shame the devil in this house. You know what? The most dangerous time for some of y'all is when you got money in your pocket. Come on now. The most dangerous time for some of y'all is when you're happy and doing good. Because when you're happy and doing good, you care more about the stuff, oh my God, that you have, than you're more concerned about the one that allowed you to get the stuff. But the truth of the matter is, you grow when you struggle. You grow when you cry. You grow when you're going through something. Because in those hard times, y'all, that's when you learn to depend on God. Identity is set. Conditions aren't. And God says, I'm looking for a people I can mature without giving them stuff. Watch this. People that don't need promises. I need people today that don't need promises in order to produce. Come on, somebody. He said, I don't need the kind of people that can only take from my hand and then you'll praise me. But I need people that don't need promises in order to produce. I need people that don't need tricks in order to trust. He needs somebody that will trust him when you can't trace him. My God, my God, my God. God is teaching us in this text. Now watch this. It would be terrible for me to not have the character to keep me where God's assignment is trying to take me. Woo. It would be terrible for me to not have the character to keep me where God's assignment is trying to take me. He takes me through process and tests in order to cultivate integrity in my life. In other words, God said, I've already defined your identity, but right now your integrity don't match where I'm taking you. So God said, I'm going to take you through some process because I got to cultivate something in you where your character will be ready by the time you get to your destiny. Identity is set. Conditions are not. God says that sometimes when I'm going through this process and test, it's cultivating a new me. And sometimes it's really not that other people don't understand the new you. Sometimes you don't understand the new you. You don't understand what God is doing in your life. Come on. You don't know how you got this. You don't know what God is doing, and you just simply don't understand. God says, Abraham, I just need you to trust me before I explain to you what I'm trying to do. Understand that when I told you just a minute ago that God is, through these processes and through these tests, that God is trying to cultivate your integrity, but for that to happen, it takes process. In order to cultivate integrity, it takes process. Watch this. And I hope y'all don't tear the church up on this one. Watch this. Watch this. Don't tear the church up, but watch this. The promise God speaks to you is far beyond where you are when he speaks it to you. Don't miss this. Should I say it again? The promise God speaks to you is far beyond where you are when God speaks it to you. Watch this, y'all. If you say God spoke something to you and you can see it right there and you can see it right now, I suggest to you that ain't God. Chandrika, I suggest to y'all that that wasn't God. Oh, why? Because most of the time, God speaks stuff to you that sounds ridiculous. Because there ain't nothing about you suggests you can walk into what God is saying about you. There ain't nothing about you that suggests that you're going to be as blessed as God says you're going to be blessed. Oh my God. So if you are in here today and you got a ridiculous dream, chances are that's God. If you're in here today and God spoke something ridiculous in your life that you think is unattainable, chances are that's God. But can I get about 100 y'all here today that can declare and say, I need God to do some ridiculous stuff in my life. I need God to do some stuff that don't even sound right to me. I need God to do some stuff that sounds so crazy that when it comes to pass, I know it had to be God. That's why there's promise and process. Promise, Tiffany, and process. You don't put your faith in the process. You put your faith in the promise. Why can't I, Butler, put my faith in the process? Why do I have to put my faith in the promise? Oh, my God. Because the devil shows up in the process. Y'all better get this. The devil shows up in the process because he knows he can't do nothing with the problem. I need a church today. I need a church brother. He knows he can't do nothing with the promise. Why? Because the promise is in God's hands, but the process is in your hands. And since God already made me a promise, I'm going to take whatever hits the devil give me while I'm going through the process because my faith is in the promise. So the promise. Identity is set. Conditions aren't. Watch this. In the text. Watch this. Am I preaching okay? Am I doing good? All right. So now, in the text, Butler, watch this, Butler. In chapter 12, a promise was made to Abraham about who he would be, who he would bless, who he would become, how God was going to bring him out. A promise was made in chapter 12 about all the wonderful things God was going to do in his life. Not only that, but a promise was also made, Anita, about the fact that God was not only going to bless him, Chandrika, but God was going to really bless Charlene, everybody connected to him, and his children, and his children's children. So in chapter 12 is where God made Abraham all those promises. Woo! In chapter 12, we find what I want to call the declaration of destiny. God, my God. He gave me this 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all. In chapter 12, I want to call that the declaration of destiny. Ooh. But in that text, he doesn't walk into what God promised him. What happens after the declaration of destiny are tests. Woo. Y'all, come on, Chris, hope they don't lose me. Watch this. In chapter 12, Shirley, he makes the declaration of destiny. But we're already in chapter 22 and 20 over here. Where we at? We in 22, and he's just about to walk into it. So what happens from 12 to now is tests. My God. Don't tell the church up, y'all, but watch this. Watch this. The first test he had to pass, Butler, was the family test. Can I preach like I feel it? The family test. Well, what's that? Leave. Leave your kinfolk, leave your family, leave your mother, leave your father, anybody but you. And sometimes God will call you out by yourself. And not just by yourself, but sometimes he will call you out to yourself. And only that you deal with yourself. Oh, my God, my God. Because sometimes you ain't no good to nobody but yourself. So God called you out. And the first test he passed was what? The family test. So then he had another test. And that was called, but when he called him out for the family test, look at him and say, he passed that test. So then there was the famine test. God sent him to a place where there was a famine, but he decided to do something different. He went to Egypt where there was plenty. But look at somebody say, he failed that test. So then there's a family test that he passed. Then there's the famine test that he failed. So now, the next test he had, Kenny, was the fight test. Where he had to go and fight against the kings. And on that particular test, he passed that test. Then after he had the family test, the famine test, oh my God, the fight test, there's another test he had, which was called the fellowship test. And the fellowship test is where he gave Lot the first choice. Listen, you go ahead and you take what you want to take, and whatever you leave, I'll keep, but you go ahead and you just take whatever you want. That's the fellowship test. He passed that test. So now we got the family test he passed. We got the famine test that he failed. We've got the fellowship test that he passed. We've got the fight test that he passed. So now we have what's called the fortune test. Ooh. He was offered the wealth of Sodom. Come on to Sodom, and you can have all this wealth down here in Sodom. But brother, he didn't go, and so he also passed that test. We got the family test, the famine test, the fellowship test, the fight test, the fortune test. Now he comes to the fatherhood test. My God, in the fatherhood test, you got old sassy Sarah, and she said, you know what, I know God made us a promise, but God is taking his sweet time. Go on in there and get you some from Hagar. Go on in there and get you little bit something, and go on and do what you got to do, because God said we're going to have a son. But I'm tired of waiting on God. So he went in there and did a little something, and he had an Ishmael. So now we find that he failed the fatherhood test. My God, my God, my God, my God. So he had the family test, he passed. The famine test, he failed. The fellowship test, he passed. The fight test, he passed. The fortune test, he passed. But the fatherhood test, he failed. One of the last tests I'm going to talk about today that he had to deal with was the farewell test. Oh, my God, my God. And the farewell test was the test where God said, I need you to get rid of that junk you created. I need you to get rid of all the Ishmaels in your life. Because God said, when I bless you with the Isaac, I can't have nothing around to be playing with the blessing. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to hear me. There are some things in your life that you created. There's some stuff that you went out and got for yourself. Come on, God didn't tell you to do some stuff that you're doing. And that's why some of us can't get our blessing, because what we created is playing with what God is trying to promise us. Identity is set. Conditions aren't. Even with the farewell test. And sometimes God said, listen, get rid of the Ishmael. And sometimes you will get so comfortable with all that stuff you created. Yeah, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah. You wanted a man, but it ain't really the man God told you he had for you. So now you done got comfortable with the Negro you're not even supposed to have. And when God tell you to get, am I walking? I'm not aiming for nobody, but if I hit you, I don't mean to miss you. And now that Negro driving you crazy, and you want to get rid of him, he ain't going nowhere. Oh, come on, somebody, but God said, if you would have never picked him up in the... Look at the Bible say, identity is set. Conditions aren't. And so now I find that even though in chapter 12, God tells him the declaration of destiny, but he doesn't really start walking into his destiny until we get all the way down by chapter 20. But even though in the middle of all the tests that Abraham went through, there are some tests that he passed, and then there are some tests that he failed. Well, I just came to tell somebody today, isn't it good that God will still allow Abraham to keep moving forward even when he kept failing tests? Come on, somebody. Isn't it good that God still blessed Abraham even though he didn't always get it right? Now, I know some of y'all are perfect. I know some of y'all got the Holy Ghost. I know some of y'all are so enough saved, sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. I know some of y'all are fire baptized. Oh my God. And some of y'all are just like that. But that's not who I want to talk to today. I want to talk to somebody here today that can say, I failed sometimes since I've been saved. Oh my God, come on, y'all. I need to talk to somebody today that said, oh, I cussed since I've been saved. Oh, I done dropped it like it's hot since I've been saved. I ain't talking about what I did before I got saved. Oh, I need some real people for this right here. But I'm talking about somebody today, Butler, that know I done did some stuff. Or why y'all quiet now? Y'all was hollering a minute ago. I'm walking down, y'all must be walking down your street. Because some of y'all ain't saying nothing. Some of y'all were hollering at me, you ain't said a word. But I need somebody to know that since I've been saved, I've done some stuff, Amir, that should have disqualified me for a blessing God got for me. I done some stuff since I've been saved that should have took me out of line to receive a blessing. Can I get a witness in this house? I'm not talking about what I did when I was in the world, but since I've been saved, I done cussed a few folk out. Since I've been saved, I done punched a few people in the mouth. Since I've been saved, I done been some places that I know I shouldn't have been. Since I've been saved, I done some stuff that I know I shouldn't have done. But thanks be to God that gives us the victory. Thanks be to God that because of his grace, because of his mercy and his favor, he didn't disqualify me for failing the test. Woo. Look at somebody say, neighbor, identity is set. Conditions aren't. So now watch this. In the kingdom, Watch this, grasshopper. Sam. In the kingdom, promotion is not based on perfection. Dang it, in the kingdom, promotion is not based on perfection. Watch this. But in the church, you get crucified for lipstick. Huh? Come on, y'all. In the church, you get crucified for earrings. I wish I had a real church here today. Oh my God. In the church, you get crucified for your hairdo. In the church, you get crucified for so much stuff. But in the kingdom, my failures aren't final. Oh my God. That's why we got to move from church to kingdom. Watch this, y'all. In the kingdom, promotion is based on progress. Don't lose this, y'all. Don't lose me. In the kingdom, promotion is based on progress. Only church folk want you to be perfect. Huh? Here's the problem. We want to wait until we have perfected some things before we shout things I used to do, I don't do no more. The devil is a liar. I'm not going to wait to shout until I don't do it no more. I'm going to shout because I don't do it as often as I used to. God, come on now. Come on, somebody. I know somebody got that testimony. I ain't perfect yet. I still doing it, but I don't do it as much as I used to. I need some keep it real folk that will say I still do it, but not as often as I used to. Come on, somebody. I need some people today to understand that last year, oh my God, I would have cussed you out. But this year I walked away and just cussed under my breath. Come on, somebody. Last year I would have punched you in your mouth. But this year I just walked away and clenched my fist. Come on, somebody. Oh my God. I didn't say that I didn't do it anymore. I just don't do it as much as I used to. Can I get a witness in this house? Because in the kingdom, my promotion is based on progress. Give somebody a high five and say, baby, I'm making progress. You might can't see it, but I'm making progress. Can I preach? Should I preach? Can I preach in this place? Give somebody a high five and tell them identity is set, conditions aren't. Watch this. Abraham did not pass every test, but God kept moving him forward. And Butler, here's the key. Here's the key. God spoke it to him 10 chapters ago. The declaration of destiny. Here's the key. Watch this. I'm almost finished. God spoke to him 10 chapters ago. Watch this. It took 10 more chapters before he walked into the manifestation. Oh, y'all missing this. He spoke it 10 chapters ago. Really, it's 12 chapters later that he began to walk into the manifestation of what God spoke to him 10 chapters ago. Look at somebody say, it's a process. Look at it and say, neighbor, it's not going to happen overnight. Tell them. Come on, tell 3 people that it's not going to happen overnight. Come on, tell somebody else, say, it's not going to happen overnight. That's why I'm so tired of these microwave preachers and these microwave leaders that wake up in the morning and talk about, I want to be a bishop today. You done left somebody church and starting church in your living room somewhere with you, your wife, and your kids. And here it is 3 years later and you still in your living room with you, your wife and your kids. As I put on my Facebook page the other day, you can always hear God calling you into ministry, but you can't hear him calling you out of sin. I'm sick and tired of these microwave people that think that ministry is easy and it can happen overnight. You can't get this overnight. You can't get this anointing overnight. It will not happen overnight. There is a process, and in this process, you will be lied on, you will be talked about, you will be mistreated. But when I come out the process, my anointing will be increased, my faith will be better. Why? Because identity is set, but the conditions. Can I preach? Can I preach? Can I preach? Should I preach? Should I preach? Should I preach? I got to preach. Watch this. All right. All right, I'm about to close my sermon. All right. Here's point number 1. Y'all ready? You ready for me to close my sermon? Point number 1 said this. Yeah, but I just got to the point this a long time ago. Look, watch this. Point number 1. Y'all ready? Assignments are tied to a place. Amen. That's right. Watch this. Assignments are tied to a place. Watch this. Point number 1. I'm fast forward. Here go point number 2. Point number 1 again. Ready? Assignments are what? Here's point number 2. Watch this. Fulfillment is predicated on proper placement. Woo. Can I hit him with that again, Butler? You don't mind, do you? Point number 1 is what? Assignments are tied to a place. Point number 2 says fulfillment is predicated on proper placement. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss where I'm going with this now. Don't miss where I'm going with this. Point number 1 says what? Assignments are tied to a place. Point number 2 says that the fulfillment is predicated on proper placement. Well, what do you mean that the fulfillment is predicated on proper placement? Well, Joseph had a dream, but he couldn't fulfill it until he got to the palace. That's the place. Cause y'all don't lose me now. Watch this. Jonah had an assignment, but he could not fulfill it until he got to Nineveh. That's the place. Watch this. Ruth. Ruth wanted something, but she could not get it fulfilled until she got to a place. Boaz's field. Come on, somebody. Watch this, y'all. Esther had purpose, but she could not fulfill her purpose until she got to a place which was called the palace. Assignments are tied to a place. Watch this, y'all. Even though God has given you an assignment, even though God has blessed you, you will not fulfill that assignment until you get to the proper place to receive the promise. And once you get to the proper place, and I hate to bust somebody's bubble, but that place just might be on your knees in the midnight hour when ain't nobody but you and God. But you got to understand the identity is set, but conditions aren't. So now we got to understand that. So now watch this. That brings me to my closing. And it brings me to point number 3. Point number 3 says, well, let's do a recap. Point number 1 says what? Tied to a place. Point number 2 says what? Predicate or proper placement. Now listen here, don't turn the church up with this. Let me give you a last point. Don't turn the church up. Now here we go. Point number 3 says this. Watch this. You can't choose the place. Can you watch me? Anybody watch me now? Watch out, brother. Watch it now. Oh my God, Bishop. Look at somebody as a neighbor. You can't choose the place. Oh my God, watch this, y'all, watch this. Watch the text. The text says, God says, go to the region of Moriah. Right? He said, to a mountain I will show you. I'm going to show you how you can't choose a place. Watch this. The text says go. Go is a word that speaks in the present tense. Go means presently I need you to go. Then he says to the region of Moriah and to a mountain. Didn't tell him what mountain, but he said to a mountain I will show you. So watch English now. I got some school teachers in here. Watch this. Go is present. Show is future. Oh, come on, y'all, don't miss this. Don't miss me. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Go is what? Present. Show is future. So watch this. God says, I got something to show you, but I'm not going to show you until you go. Come on, somebody. Oh, my God. You got to realize that when God says go, all you got to do is go. God might not show you the assignment until you get where you... Oh my God, I dug out one more point. I got point number 4. Can we do a quick recap? A quick recap. Well, this is my last point. Point number 1 says what? Point number 2 says what? Point number 3 says what? Oh my God. Cannot they got it. Y'all ready for point number 4, my last point? Point number 4 says this. Can you manage the pain that comes with the pilgrimage of the process? Oh my God. You gotta watch. You gotta watch me. Can I say it again? Can you manage the pain that comes with the pilgrimage of the process? I know you want to be anointed. I know you want to be appointed. But can you manage the pain that comes with the journey while you're on the way to the manifestation of the promise God has for you? Give somebody a high five and ask them, can you manage the pain? Oh my God. Abraham says to the other people that's with him, he said, listen, I've got to manage this pain that's coming with the pilgrimage while I'm in the process. So Abraham tells the rest of the people that are standing there with him, he said, what I need you to do, can I preach in this place? It like I feel it. He said, what I need you to do, I need you to stay right here. He said, and while you're staying right here, he said, me and the boy, we're going to worship. Come on, somebody. He said, I need you to stay here with the donkey because God has given me an assignment and I got to manage this assignment that God has given me. And while I go manage my assignment, I need you to stay right here. Well, that's another teachable moment because it's teaching you that when God gives you an assignment, everybody can't go with you. I don't care if it's your husband or your wife. When God speaks to you, sometimes he speaks to you, and you can't take everybody when God is trying to talk to you. Can I get a witness in this house? Well, look at what God does. And then we find in our text, he said, listen, what I need y'all to do, he said, is stay right here. He says, stay right here. So that the Bible says that on the way to the mountain, the Bible says, and we read in the text, that God makes them do something. Look at what God makes them carry on the way to the mountain. The Bible says that God made them carry some stuff on the way to the test, on the way to fulfill the promise. Watch this, y'all. On the way to the mountain, God makes them carry some stuff. What does God make them carry? He makes them carry the fire, the wood, and the knife. Come on, somebody, look at somebody beside you and say, neighbor, say the fire, the wood, and the knife. Watch this now. On the way to fulfilling their destiny, on the way to fulfill the promise, God makes them carry. God makes them carry to worship what has a potential to kill and cause pain. Don't miss this. It's in the text. I know everybody always preach about the fact that God supplied a ram and all that kind of stuff. But I saw something different in that text, Bishop. I saw that God made them carry to worship something that has a potential to kill and cause pain. Y'all ain't hearing me today. I wish y'all would really catch this. Can I get a witness in this house? He makes them carry the fire, the wood, and the knife. He makes them carry something that has a potential to kill and cause pain. I got a question for you today. What do you do when God makes you carry to worship stuff that can cause you pain? What do you do when God makes you carry to worship something that has a potential to kill you? What do you do? What do you do when God makes you carry? When God allows you to come to church with pain and problems, issues and burdens, hatred and malice? What do you do when God allows you to carry stuff to worship that's getting on your nerve? Can I preach in this house? What do you do when God allows you to carry the struggles from your home into worship? What do you do when God allows you to carry the problems of other people into worship? What do you do when God allows you to carry the burden of somebody else? What do you do when God allows you to carry problems that you ain't got nothing to do with, but God allows you to carry them into worship? Can I get a witness in this house? Look at your neighbor real quick and say, neighbor, what do you do when you carry stuff that you are not responsible for? What do you do when you carry that stuff into worship? Sometimes you got to carry things that hurt you. Sometimes you got to carry stuff from your past that don't nobody know about. Sometimes you got to carry stuff that your family members done to you that you ain't never told nobody but God. Sometimes you got to carry stuff into worship that the person sitting next to you know what you went through. They would want to sit beside you. What do you do when you got to carry stuff into worship that has a potential to kill your praise? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do when you got to carry somebody else's burdens? Can I get a witness in the house? There's somebody in here that's dressed up, but you're carrying some stuff. There's somebody in this morning, you're looking real good, but you're carrying some stuff. There's somebody this morning, you're smiling right now, but you're carrying some stuff. There's somebody today that came to worship. You've been clapping your hands, you've been singing a song, but you're carrying. Can Can I get a witness in this house? Yes, here's why you should rejoice. Let me tell you why you should rejoice. Even though you carry some stuff, here's why you should rejoice. Watch this, y'all. With everything you're carrying, you still came to worship. With everything you carried, you still came to worship. With all the burdens you have, you still came to worship. Give your neighbor a high five and say, neighbor, I'm glad I showed up with all my mess. Watch this. Watch this. The text teaches us that the stuff I bring to worship, I don't have to leave with it. Even though he carried the fire, the wood, and the night to worship, when it was all over, he didn't leave with the fire. Come on, somebody. With the fire, the wood, or the knife. Watch the text. Watch the text. Here we go. And I'm done. Do you know why they, oh my God, let me backtrack. Woo, Kenny, it's so good. Because they carried to worship the stuff that had the potential to kill them. They carried it to worship. But today, when they left, they didn't have the stuff. They had the potential to kill them. So, do you know what they did with the stuff that they carried to worship that had the potential to kill them? The Bible says they built an altar. Some of y'all missing that. The Bible says that they built an altar. Look at somebody and say, neighbor, you ought to build an altar for that junk. You ought to build an altar for that mess. You ought to build an altar for the stuff you've been carrying. Woo! Somebody missing this. Don't miss this. I've been reading all night. Y'all been reading all night. Watch this. Watch the text. It says that even though they carried the stuff, and I'm ready to close now, but don't tell the church, oh, please, watch this. Watch this. Even though, Mira, they carried the stuff up the mountain, they had the potential to kill them and cause pain. The Bible says that they took the problem and built an altar with the problem. Now, here's the part that a lot of people miss. Because so many people focus on the ram in the bush. But this is what I saw. Watch this. I'm closing. Come on now, don't tell the church up. Y'all ready? Don't tell the church up. Watch this. In the text, it says that God showed up. That's good news. That's good news. That's good news. It's good news that God showed up. But watch this. I wasn't even excited about the fact that God showed up. Kenny, I wasn't excited about the fact that God showed up. See, some of y'all got happy because God showed up. You're jumping. No. I'm not happy, so much excited, Chris, about the fact that God showed up. But when I begin to read this text, oh my God, Yvette, what I got excited about was not the fact, Charlene, that God showed up, but I got excited about the fact of when God showed up. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I know he showed up. And Kenny, it's okay that he showed up, but I'm not excited that he showed up. I'm more thrilled of the fact of when he showed up. Woo! Oh my God. So some of y'all understand what I'm trying to say, but let me close my sermon. See, y'all get happy sometimes at the wrong time. God showed up because he's supposed to show up. But the old folks said that he may not come when you want him. But he's always on time. So I'm not so much excited about the fact that God showed up. But I am excited about the fact of when God showed up. I'm about to take my seat. Good morning, Empowering Words, Kingdom Ministry International. Good afternoon to you. I just stopped by for a minute to just drop a word on your life. I hope this word bless somebody. And I hope that you can take this word and eat off it all week long. Good afternoon, Empowering Words, Kingdom Ministry. I'm glad all of y'all came. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. But I'm not excited about the fact that God showed up. But in my clothes before I take my seat, and I'm going to take my seat and say good night. Good morning, good evening, and good night. But I want to let you know about the fact of the timing of God. The Bible said that God didn't show up until Abraham raised his hands. Can I get a witness in this house? And I come to tell somebody that God ain't going to show up in your life until you raise your hands. Can I get a witness in this house? If you need God to show up, all you got to do is raise your hands. Raise your hands. The Bible said that when Abraham raised his hands, it said that God called from heaven and said, Abraham, don't do the boy no harm. But he didn't show up until his hands was raised. I come to tell about 100 of y'all in here today. If you need God to show up in your situation, I dare you to raise your hands. Lift your hands in the sanctuary. Open your mouth and be like David. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Come on, somebody, throw your hands up in the air and wave it like you just don't care, and say, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly, to do abundantly, all that we could ask or we could think. Now unto him that is able to keep me from falling and present me faultless. I know I messed up, but I'll be faultless.